Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to talk at what I think is a very important event for organisations represented here, which are a very important part of the government's economic policy. Lord Blackwell, it was a pleasure, as always, to follow you in addressing a room full of such influential and important people. You referred to the last time we shared a stage at that Regional Ambassadors Conference, where we talked about the new approach that the government takes to devolving power, to recognising that if we're going to unlock the huge potential that exists for economic growth, we have to recognise also that it is those people who live in those economies, who are part of those communities, who understand the businesses that operate in those areas, and both the challenges and the opportunities that exist in the different parts that make up our great country. It is those people who are best placed to drive economic growth forward in each individual place and each individual area. One of the first things I did when I was first elected as a Member of Parliament in 2010 was to campaign to secure my own local enterprise partnership. As we went through that transition, the old regional development agency structures, for better or worse, and we can each have our own opinions on the transition that took place. But as they went, as the new structures came, there were often heated and animated debates about the shapes that they should take, the geographies that they should cover, the people that should sit on them. Well, I think, looking back, that the campaign that I ran once as a backbencher, which led to the position ultimately that I hold now with a responsibility for LEPs across the country as a whole, speaks to a project which thus far has been a successful one, but which I would want to see, and which I'm confident we will see, will go further. Local enterprise partnerships bring together that public sector and private sector knowledge, that public sector and private sector contact, that understanding of how the different parts of our economy in different parts of our country work. And I think that, speaking in general terms, looking across the piece, you have made a significant contribution to driving economic growth in times that have not always been easy. When we've faced global economic challenges, when we've faced difficult headwinds, when we've faced sometimes uncertainty in the economic climate, we've been able to deliver falling unemployment, we've been able to deliver growth in many sectors of our economy, and we are targeting for the future significant rebalancing of our economy, with one of my ministerial responsibilities being the Northern Powerhouse, being that recognition that if we can grow the economies of the North in the way that many of the economies of parts of the south of England have achieved growth over recent decades, then we can unlock even greater potential for the future of the UK. At the heart of much of this is the work that you do. And I think that is the key message that I want to send in my comments today. It's that recognition of the contribution that you make and of the contribution that that makes to our economy and to delivering on our economic policy and economic agenda. For it is in all our interests that we grow our economy and seize every opportunity, and it is not just in our interests, but it is absolutely vital and necessary in a competitive global marketplace, in one where being quick to act, but also where recognising opportunities when they arise is so fundamentally important if we are to maintain and indeed improve our position in the world. So I want to put on record my gratitude for all the work that is done by so many who contribute to our LEPs. I wanted to re-emphasise and restate the commitment of the government to the work that you do and to the role that you have in the way that we deliver economic policy. I feel perhaps that my words are unnecessary when I look at the array of speakers that you have secured, both for this conference and at the dinner last night, to have the Secretary of State for Business and the Secretary of State for Education, to have my having accepted the invitation to give a keynote speech only for my Secretary of State to upstage me later on today with what will, I am sure, be an even grander and more valuable contribution to your conference. To have so much engagement from so many people underlines the value that is attached to the great work that you are doing. We do not underestimate the challenges. We recognise that, particularly in the devolution environment and devolution debate, the role of LEPs will flex and change and evolve to meet the new levers of power that are being transferred to local levels, but also the new ways that business engagement are going to be done. But it is thanks to LEPs and the information that you are able to provide and the work that you do that we are able to promote through to the world, through UKTI, the opportunities for investment in the UK and for the UK to sell abroad. It is thanks to the work that you do that we are able to target government funding, for example, through the local growth fund programmes that we have seen over recent years, to those areas that will generate the most benefit, to those areas that will ensure we grow our economy and we get that value for money from the money which we are committed to spending. It is thanks to the work that you do that we are able to bridge the gap between private sector and public sector and understand where that presents opportunities through collaboration, where that presents opportunities that from Whitehall and Westminster may not always be obvious, but from on the ground, from the bodies that you represent, those that are closer to the economies within which you work, with boards that have representatives from the people who drive those economies within which you operate. It is that information that better informs us, but better enables us to target what needs to be done, where it needs to be done to achieve our shared objectives. With that in mind, I do not intend to detain you for much longer with my comments, but want to make one announcement that I have wrestled from the grip of my wonderful Secretary of State to allow me to say this morning before he addresses you this afternoon. As you will be aware, we have confirmed the LEP core funding for 16-17 to ensure that you're able to forward plan and to start to make provision for the future. It was a big ask that LEPs wanted to put forward. I'm happy to be able to confirm that the government is also committing up to £20 million for 17-18. We'll be working with you to ensure that's distributed in the right way, that takes account of the changing landscape, of the evolving devolution challenges and role of local enterprise partnerships. But the government is committed to ensuring LEPs continue to play the constructive, proactive and effective role that you have in the past going into the future. We're committed to working with you to delivering that. We very much value what you do to support our policy objectives and to support the UK economy. And I want to put on record for that final time my thanks to all those of you who I've met in my travels across the country, to all those also who I have not yet had the opportunity to visit. We really do recognise the huge amount of work that goes in and contribution that you make. We're investing in what you do for the future. And in challenging economic times, when there isn't huge amounts of money around, I think that is a greater statement than any words that can come forth from a minister on a platform such as this. We're investing in you because of the difference that you make, and we look forward to working with you to take our economy forward and to develop the role of LEPs into the future. Thank you.